Welcome to Miss Scarlett. Subscribe and don't miss out on Patreon. Have fun! The muted glow of the television illuminated Jacob's face as he sat curled up on the couch, nervously fidgeting with a loose thread on the hem of his t-shirt. His girlfriend Kora lounged next to him, her attention focused on the action movie playing out on the screen. She absently reached for another handful of popcorn from the bowl balanced on her lap, her eyes never leaving the car chase scene. Jacob swallowed hard, his mouth suddenly feeling as dry as cotton. He had been working up the courage to tell Kora his secret for weeks now, but the words kept getting stuck in his throat. What if she didn't understand? What if she thought he was weird or gross and wanted to break up with him? He didn't think he could handle losing her. Kora glanced over, noticing how quiet and tense he had become. She hit the pause button on the remote and turned to face him, her brow furrowed with concern. "Hey, is everything okay? You've barely said a word all night." "Yeah, Jacob trailed off, his gaze skittering away from hers to land on his lap. He took a deep breath, steeling himself. It was now or never. "There's something I need to tell you." Kora set the popcorn aside and scooted closer, placing a comforting hand on his knee. "What is it?" "You know you can tell me anything." Jacob nodded, still not quite able to meet her eyes. "I know. It's just, this is something I've never told anyone before. I'm afraid of how you might react." "Well, I promise to keep an open mind, no matter what it is," Kora assured him, giving his knee a gentle squeeze. "I love you, Jacob. Nothing you say is going to change that." Her words gave him the courage he needed. Exhaling slowly, Jacob finally looked up at her, his green eyes shining with vulnerability and fear. "The thing is, I like wearing girls' clothes sometimes. Dresses, skirts, even makeup. It makes me feel good, like I can express a different side of myself." He held his breath, waiting for her reaction, but Kora just blinked at him, momentarily taken aback. "Oh, okay, I wasn't expecting that." Jacob's heart sank. "You think it's weird, don't you? I knew I shouldn't have said anything." No, I don't think it's weird at all," Kora rushed to reassure him. "I'm just a little surprised, that's all. I had no idea you felt this way." "I've been too scared to tell anyone," Jacob admitted, relief washing over him at her easy acceptance. "I thought people would judge me or not understand." Kora shook her head firmly. "Well, I'm not going to judge you, and I want to understand. If wearing feminine clothes makes you happy, then I fully support you expressing yourself however you want." Tears pricked at the corners of Jacob's eyes. He launched himself at Kora, wrapping her in a tight hug. "Thank you," he whispered against her neck. "You have no idea how much that means to me." Kora rubbed soothing circles on his back. "Of course, babe. I just want you to be happy and feel like you can be your true self with me." Jacob pulled back, wiping at his damp cheeks with the back of his hand. A tentative smile played at his lips. "In that case, do you think you could maybe help me pick out some new outfits sometime? I don't have many feminine clothes yet besides a few skirts and blouses I've bought in secret." "I would love to!" Kora enthused. She grinned mischievously. "It'll be fun to get you all dolled up. We can have a little fashion show." Jacob laughed, the last of his nerves dissipating. "That sounds great. Fair warning, though, I might end up being more girly and high maintenance than you." Kora snorted and playfully swatted at his arm. We'll see about that. I may be a jeans and t-shirt kind of gal, but I clean up nice when I want to. You've got some fierce competition, mister." "Challenge accepted," Jacob retorted with an impish wink. The light-hearted banter felt like a weight had been lifted off his shoulders. For the first time, he could envision a future where he didn't have to hide such a big part of himself anymore. With Kora by his side, he felt like he could take on the world, even in 6-inch stilettos and a cocktail dress. Over the next few weeks, Jacob began integrating more and more feminine clothing into his everyday wardrobe with Kora's encouragement and assistance. At first, it was little things like wearing lacy underwear beneath his jeans or swiping on some tinted lip balm before heading to class. But as his confidence grew, so did his fashion choices. Flouncy skirts and silky blouses started appearing in his closet, hanging next to his hoodies and cargo shorts. He experimented with different hairstyles, growing his chestnut locks out a bit so he could style it in soft waves or a jaunty ponytail. Kora taught him the basics of applying makeup, how to achieve the perfect winged eyeliner and blend eyeshadow like a pro. Jacob found that the more he embraced his feminine side, the more at peace he felt with himself. There was something so freeing about twirling around their apartment in a swishy dress, his face done up with smoky eyeshadow and glossy lips. He started going by Iris on days when he was feeling particularly girly, the name a nod to his love of flowers and all things pretty. To her credit, Kora was endlessly supportive of Jacob's transformation into Iris. She complimented his outfits, helped him pick out cute accessories, and made sure he knew that she loved him no matter his gender presentation. If anything, she seemed to enjoy having a partner to get glammed up with on occasion. However, as time went on, it became increasingly clear that Iris's sense of style was a bit more over the top than Kora's laid-back, tomboy aesthetic. While Kora was content with a nice blouse and slacks for date night, Iris insisted on going all out with a frilly pink dress, sky-high heels, and a meticulously made-up face. She spent hours perfecting her look, while Kora was ready to go in 20 minutes flat. It made for an amusing sight when they went out together. Iris tottering along in her platforms, a riot of ruffles and sparkles, while Kora strolled beside her in sensible flats and a moto jacket. People often did double takes, trying to figure out their dynamic. Were they friends? Sisters? A very odd couple? Doesn't it bother you that your girlfriend is way more high femme than you? Iris's co-worker Stacy asked one day as they sorted through racks of clothes at the boutique where Iris worked part-time. I mean, she's rocking Barbie chic while you're over here serving futch realness. Iris just laughed, shaking her head. Not at all. I think it's amazing that Kora loves and accepts me for who I am. So what if I'm a bit extra sometimes? She knows that underneath all the glitter and hairspray, I'm still the same Jacob she fell in love with. And it was true. No matter how much Iris loved playing dress-up and embracing her inner girly girl, at her core, she was still the sweet, sensitive guy Kora had been dating for the past 2 years. The same guy who brought her coffee in bed every morning, who always let her pick the movie for their Netflix marathons, who slow danced with her in the kitchen while they waited for their ramen to cook. Sure, maybe now that guy also had an extensive collection of MAC lipsticks and a subscription to Vogue, but those were just fun extras. They didn't define Iris or her relationship with Kora. If anything, Iris felt like being able to express her feminine side had only brought them closer together as a couple. There were no more secrets between them, no part of herself that Iris felt like she had to suppress or hide away. She could be fully authentic with the woman she loved, lacy underthings and all. As their relationship evolved to accommodate Iris's burgeoning identity, so too did Kora start exploring different ways of expressing her own masculinity. She cut her hair into a short, tousled style and began incorporating more androgynous elements into her wardrobe like button-downs and suspenders. Sometimes she even packed when they went out, relishing the way it lent a subtle swagger to her gait. It was a delicate dance, each of them orbiting the other as they navigated the full spectrum of gender together. Two celestial bodies forever pulled into one another's gravity, twin stars shining brightly in a constellation all their own, a binary system of perfect complements, The girly girl and her chivalrous butch, the femme fatale and her strapping beau. To the outside world, they made a striking and somewhat unconventional pair. Iris with her pin-up girl allure, and Kora with her handsome, gentle butch charm. But to each other, they were simply two people madly in love, two halves of the same soul. They had found home in the winding paths of each other's hearts, in the soft spaces between gender and expectation. Discovered that the truest love isn't about fitting neatly into boxes, but about building your own shared world where every iteration of self is celebrated and cherished. And as Iris twirled around their bedroom in a froth of pink tulle, her crimson lips curved into a radiant smile, she knew she had found that kind of once-in-a-lifetime love with Kora. A love that made her feel seen, made her feel whole, made her feel like the most beautiful girl in the world, inside and out. As Iris twirled around the bedroom, the soft tulle of her skirt brushing against her legs, a sudden thought struck her. She spun to a stop in front of Kora, who was lounging on the bed, flipping through a motorcycle magazine. "I want to take ballet lessons," Iris blurted out, slightly breathless from her impromptu dance session. Kora glanced up, quirking an eyebrow. "Ballet? Really?" Iris nodded enthusiastically, plopping down on the bed next to her girlfriend. "I've always admired the grace and poise of ballerinas, the way they move so elegantly, like they're floating on air. I want to learn how to do that." A slow smile spread across Kora's face. "I think that's a great idea, babe. You'd make a stunning ballerina with your long legs and natural flexibility." Iris beamed at the compliment, feeling a flutter of excitement in her chest. "You really think so?" "Definitely," Kora assured her. She reached out to playfully tweak Iris's nose. "Plus, it'll give you an excuse to buy all those frilly tutus and leotards I know you've been eyeing online." Iris ducked her head, grinning sheepishly. It was true. She had a secret Pinterest board filled with ballet aesthetic inspiration. Delicate pastel tutus, shimmery pink tights, satin point shoes. "I may have already done some research on local dance studios," Iris admitted. "There's one not too far from here that offers adult beginner classes. I was thinking about signing up for a trial lesson, just to see if I like it." "I say go for it," Kora encouraged. She sat up, setting her magazine aside. "And, hey, if you're going to be exploring a new hobby, maybe I should too." Iris locked her head curiously. "Oh? What did you have in mind?" Kora shrugged, looking almost bashful. "I was thinking about taking some auto mechanic classes down at the community college. I've always been interested in learning more about cars and motorcycles, but I never had the chance growing up." "That's so cool!" Iris gushed. She could easily picture Kora in coveralls, her face smudged with engine grease as she leaned over an open hood. "You'd be such a good mechanic, all buff and handy." Kora smirked, flexing her bicep. "You know it, babe. Grease monkey chic." They both dissolved into laughter, falling back against the pillows. Iris curled into Kora's side, resting her head on her shoulder. "Look at us, branching out and trying new things," she mused. "Ballet and auto shop. We're quite the pair." "The ballerina and the mechanic," Kora said, chuckling. "Sounds like the title of a quirky rom-com." "Starring us, of course," Iris added with a grin. "Of course," Kora agreed, dropping a kiss to the top of Iris's head. "I can see the movie poster now. You in a tutu, me holding a wrench. Tagline, she's beauty, she's grace, she'll pirouette into your face." Iris snorted, swatting at Kora's arm. "Oh my god, you dork! No more rhyming!" They lay there for a while longer, trading increasingly ridiculous imaginary movie lines and giggling like a couple of teenagers. But beneath the silliness, there was an undercurrent of genuine excitement and anticipation. They were both on the cusp of something new, ready to dive headfirst into uncharted territory, and they would be doing it together, side by side, just like always. Over the next few months, Iris threw herself into her ballet training with the same meticulous dedication she applied to perfecting her makeup looks. She started with 1 beginner class a week, but quickly increased to 3, eager to master the basic positions and movements. Her instructor, Madame Renaud, was a stern yet encouraging woman in her 60s who had danced with the Paris Opera Ballet in her youth. She saw potential in Iris's long, elegant lines and natural turnout, and pushed her to strive for precision and control in every exercise. Iris relished the challenge, spending hours at the barre each week perfecting her plies and tennis. She marveled at the way the muscles in her legs and core seemed to grow stronger and more defined with each passing class, her body transforming into a lithe, graceful instrument. Ballet satisfied Iris's innate desire for femininity and beauty in a way that nothing else quite had before. When she danced, she felt utterly at home in her own skin, completely in tune with the music and the movement. It was a form of self-expression that went beyond just wearing pretty dresses or painting her face. It was art brought to life through the vessel of her own being. Iris's burgeoning passion for dance spilled over into other areas of her life as well. Her wardrobe slowly shifted to accommodate her new dancer's physique and aesthetic, trading in chunky heels and bodycon dresses for soft, floaty skirts and delicate wrap sweaters that wouldn't impede her movement. She grew her hair out even longer, often twisting it up into a sleek ballet bun before class. Her makeup looks became more understated and fresh-faced, all dewy skin and rosebud lips. The overall effect was ephemeral and otherworldly, like a sylph flitting through the mortal realm. Kora watched Iris's transformation with a mixture of awe and adoration. She loved seeing her girlfriend so in her element, so fully embodying the graceful femininity that had always been a part of her. It was like watching a flower bloom in real time, each petal unfurling to reveal new depths of beauty. While Iris was busy pirouetting and plying, Kora was getting elbow-deep in engine grease and gear shafts. Much to her surprise and delight, she had a real knack for auto mechanics, her natural problem-solving skills and spatial reasoning serving her well as she learned to diagnose issues and perform repairs. There was something deeply satisfying about working with her hands, about the physicality of wrestling with machinery and coaxing it back to life. Kora loved the challenge of it, the mental puzzle of figuring out what made things tick. She had always been a bit of a tomboy, but learning this traditionally masculine trade gave her a new appreciation for that side of herself. As her skills progressed, Kora found herself taking on more and more projects in her spare time. She started frequenting junkyards and scrapyards on the weekends, on the hunt for old car parts and salvaged motorcycles she could tinker with. Their garage slowly morphed into Kora's own personal workshop, complete with a tool chest, hydraulic lift, and an ever-growing collection of spare parts. She could often be found out there for hours on end, classic rock blaring from the battered boombox in the corner as she worked. Kora's style evolved along with her new hobby, trading in her sundresses and ballet flats for heavy-duty work boots, straight-leg jeans, and plain white tees that could withstand a few oil stains. She kept her hair cropped short in a practical, no-nonsense cut that suited her chiseled features and laid-back demeanor. To the casual observer, Kora and Iris made for an odd couple these days, the rough and tumble mechanic and the delicate, airy ballerina. One all hard angles and pragmatism, the other soft curves and whimsy. On the surface, they seemed to have little in common anymore. But those who knew them best understood that their differences only served to complement each other, two contrasting elements in perfect balance. yin and yang, the sun and the moon. Days turned to weeks, weeks to months, and before they knew it, a whole year had passed in a whirlwind of plies and pistons, of arabesques and axle grease. And with each passing season, Iris and Kora grew more and more into themselves, more confident and self-assured in their chosen paths. Iris's dedication to her ballet training had paid off in spades. She had quickly risen through the ranks in Madame Renault's studio, graduating from the beginner classes to the intermediate and then advanced levels in record time. Her natural talent and tireless work ethic had earned her a coveted spot in the studio's prestigious performing company. Now, she spent her days rehearsing for upcoming productions, losing herself in the music and the choreography for hours at a time. The stage had become her second home, the spotlight her faithful companion. When she danced, she felt utterly transported, her spirit soaring free from the confines of gravity and doubt. Iris's femininity, once a flickering ember, had been fanned into a roaring blaze through the crucible of ballet. She carried herself with the effortless poise and grace of a true prima ballerina, her every movement imbued with artistry and intention. Gone were the days of garish makeup and over-the-top outfits. Iris's style had matured into something altogether more refined and ethereal. Soft, muted shades of blush and lavender, floaty skirts and delicate lace. She looked like she had stepped out of a Degas painting, all willowy limbs and serene beauty. Ballet had given Iris more than just killer legs and excellent posture. It had given her a sense of purpose, a way to express her truest, most authentic self. When she danced, she wasn't just Iris the girlfriend or Iris the part-time boutique clerk. She was Iris the artist, Iris the creator. And oh, how she reveled in that feeling of pure, unadulterated creation. The way her body sang with the thrill of it. The way her soul seemed to expand to fill the whole stage. In those perfect, crystalline moments, she was more than just herself. She was part of something bigger, something timeless and beautiful. As the seasons changed and the leaves turned from green to fiery hues of orange and red, Iris and Kora's lives settled into a comfortable rhythm. Their days were filled with the creative pursuits they had both grown to love so fiercely. Ballet for Iris, mechanics for Kora. Their evenings, however, were reserved for the private world they built together, away from the prying eyes of the outside world. In the sanctuary of their shared bedroom, Iris was also the more girly, feminine one. Hope you enjoyed the story so far. The rest will be available on Patreon.